Mark Fletcher Jr. is having the best week of his career at the University of Miami. First, he shreds Texas A&M's defense, and then he announces he's staying at the U for his senior season.
You are Locked On Canes, your daily podcast on the Miami Hurricanes, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And we all know Mark Fletcher loves Miami. And I think most of us at least agree that he can benefit from playing his senior season at the U. But a lot of times at the running back position, guys just decide to leave early. That's usually the way it is. So having Fletch come back for another year is such a blessing. By the way, I'm Alex Donno, University of Miami alumnus, co-host of Locked On ACC and host of Postgame on the Hurricanes Radio Network. And thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen. We're available free wherever you get your podcasts. We're free on YouTube. We're part of the #1 Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. We'll talk about a massive crystal ball prediction for Miami. We're already going to start rolling here again in the class of 2027. One of the top players in the nation is projected to pick the U. We'll talk about the #1 key to beating Ohio State, which we all know won't be easy. OSU, the defending national champs, but Miami's got a chance, and we'll tell you how. Let's bring in now the truth teller here on a Truth Teller Tuesday. Bruce Warner is with us. And Bruce, I know you're as big of a Mark Fletcher Jr. fan as I am. He goes off for 172 yards against Texas A&M, sets up the game-winning touchdown, and then we get the announcement that Fletch is coming back next year. What a blessing.
Not only that, but last night, a Facebook friend requested his mother, Linda, and obviously she saw how many hundreds of former Hurricane friends I have on Facebook. She responded back, and I asked her if her and Mark will come on the show when the season's over. She said, of course. So we're going to have Linda and Mark on to talk about all this. So that'll be fun. You know who else I reached out to?
Who?
The girl that was in the stadium that everybody's been talking about, Abdella Danger.
Abdella Danger? You reached out to her?
Yeah, so let's see if she responds back to me, because she'll see all the Miami Hurricane friends I have. So maybe we can get her on the show. But, she's in law school at the U. So
among other things,
they can say what they want about her past career. That's pretty damn good.
Sure.
She must have gotten that money to help her pay for law school. So
she got Johnny Manziel to throw the U up. Did you see that? That she and Johnny football threw the U up.
Yep. What else is going on? Sapp wants to come to the game, but they said there's no more tickets. And since he's at Colorado, he can't be on the sideline. So I guess he's probably not going to go unless he buys a ticket.
Well, the thing was, I saw, so Warren Sapp, everybody's talking about this. He was, basically calling out University of Miami on his X account, that he sent an email request for tickets, and he got, it looked like an auto response to me. It's like, if I'm wrong, Sapp, feel free to correct us, but it looked like he got an auto response from the office that there's $200 tickets available in such and such section, 300 available in other, but he took that as a personal shot that they're asking Warren Sapp to pay for tickets in the upper level. My question, Bruce, is if you're Warren Sapp, why are you sending an email to the ticket office? You should be texting somebody on the staff.
Yeah. I don't know
if you email the ticket office, what do you expect them to say? What do you expect them to say when you email the ticket office?
I don't think he did it. Listen, I already talked to Mark. So Mark said he was texting him to find out. So we'll find out the real truth. I don't know if during the show, but I'm sure Mark will get back to me. Anyway, so we beat
the Mark you're talking about, Mark Caesar, but the Mark that I want to talk about right now is Mark Fletcher. First of all, Bruce, you think about, he goes off. He took over the game on that final Miami offensive drive, and I know that's what he wanted, and that's what Carson Beck wanted. Shannon Dawson revealed that Carson told him, hey, I think we need to be running it more up the gut. And then before that final drive, Shannon Dawson told Mark Fletcher, we're going to ride you down the field. Mm-hmm. Fletcher told his offensive line, everybody was on the same page. Fletch took over. He broke off the 56-yard run. And Bruce, you think about, you could talk about the game that he just had, but also how stacked Miami's backfield is going to be next year with Fletch coming back for the senior season.
Yeah, I'm real happy for that. Listen, I never really thought he should come out anyway. He's not a take it to the house kind of a back, but neither is Derrick Henry. And look at the money he's making in the National Football League. So I think he put money in his pocket. I don't know what's going to happen against Ohio State. Hopefully he does it again. And then next year, he's got next year too. Pringle's going to get his chances next year. Mallory, I don't know. Lyle, I'm not so sure he's going to be here next year, but that's up to him, not up to me. But they have a stacked backfield. The offensive line, they're going to lose a few people. I don't think Bell's leaving. I think Bell's going to stay and put more money in his pocket.
I agree. Right? I think he's staying.
And the offensive line, from what I'm hearing, and I don't know if you know this, but those kids that came in before the season started, they came in last spring, the true freshmen from this past year, that didn't really get on the field. From what I'm understanding, they have blown up like balloons. These guys are bigger than the guys they have now, 6'6", 6'7". They got the number one kid coming in. He looks kind of slim compared to them. He doesn't have that big gut. But he's a technician and he's spectacular. So you got to be excited about what Mario's doing in the recruiting trail. But I still maintain this. No matter what happens, they need to get a quarterback in the portal, or as Mark Caesar's portable. They need a quarterback. I don't think there's anybody on the roster that could take them all the way next year as it sits right now. I think they got to get somebody, and somebody good. And I don't see them settling for just anybody. So whether it's Levitt or Sorsby kid or whoever it is, come January 2nd, which is not that long away from here, they got to make a splash and get that quarterback, because then I'd feel a million times better.
Yeah, well, and Miami should be, of course. And as Miami has been for the past couple of years, even more attractive now for a transfer quarterback, as you can see, this team is capable of getting to the college football playoff and winning a playoff game. You know you're going to be protected, right? And I agree with you. I think Markel Bell is going to come back next year. So you know you're going to have Big Bell protecting your blind side. You're going to have a really good offensive line. You're going to have a really good running game, good receivers. You got Malachi Toney to throw the football to next year and some other talented players. And you got Mark Fletcher back in your backfield.
They got, you probably know the names better than me. They have 4 freshmen coming in, 3 4-stars and 1 5-star. So, I mean, they're not bringing 2 and 3 stars to hope to develop. These kids are good. They're and most of them have legitimate size. They're in the 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" range, not 5'9", 5'10". So yeah, they're getting what Mario wants: size, speed, aggressiveness, and attitude. As Mark and the rest of the former players say, dogs. That's what they want. They want dogs, and they got them. And so this is not going to end anytime soon. It's going to keep going. Ohio State, if we beat them or not, nothing's changing come the offseason, come spring, and come next year. We're ready to go. And I'm going to say we're back. I was told no because we didn't win anything yet. I still think we're back. We're relevant. We're not on the back burner anytime soon. So, yeah, I'm a Cane fan, and I'm saying right now we are back. This is what we should be doing, making noise, making the playoffs. And one final thing to the Notre Dame fans. I just don't understand. I could see you being upset with Alabama and the committee, who made an Alabama team number 9 ahead of Notre Dame, who was 10 at the time. They lose, and they're still 9. What they should have done to make it look somewhat legitimate is put us at 9 with only 2 losses, Alabama at 10, and then kicked out Notre Dame. But that's really absurd, and Notre Dame's mad at us. We beat you. Texas A&M beat you in your house. We beat A&M in their house, and you're still griping that you should have been in ahead of us? What kind of logic is this? Oh, I know what kind of logic it is. It's that Lou Holtz little wimpy little mentality. You know, it's just like, God, when are they going to stop? You're not so privileged. You lost the first 2 games of the season, and you still wound up in a top 10, top 12 position. Why? Who did you beat? Nobody. They beat USC.
They had great losses. It was the losses were fantastic. And the Notre Dame fan is so delusional. Like, Bruce, there were people watching, Miami versus Texas A&M. It was scoreless at halftime. It was 3-3 heading into the 4th quarter. Notre Dame fans were watching the game saying, we would kill both of these teams. How did these 2 teams get in front of us? Hello? These are the two teams that you lost to, but they're so delusional they don't care. To them, the December version of Notre Dame is the only thing that matters, not the September version that lost to both of our teams. They're delusional.
Or the crappy teams they beat all year. By the way, I went on a tirade the other night on a different show, but I'm going to do it right now. Stephen A. Smith, You know nothing about Miami Hurricane football. You are a blabbermouth. You are a self-absorbed BS artist. And it came to fruition with two guests. One, he had Tim Tebow on. And Tim Tebow was listening to him rant about how Miami sucks and they shouldn't be in this and they're going to get killed. He looked at them and he started reading off stats. Shut him up. Then he had, of all people, Nick Saban on. And Nick Saban listened to his rant and he picked his head up and he looked at him and he said, look at the stats on the defense. This team is loaded. What are you talking about? They lost 2 games to 2 teams with 500 or plus that are in bowl games. And you're telling me that they stink, that they don't belong in here? Based on what? Where's your logic? What do you know about this school? Nothing. He knows nothing about the Hurricanes. He knows nothing about the history. He knows nothing about the roster. He knows nothing about
I'll go a step further. He knows nothing
He's
about
a blabbermouth.
Like he knows not. Like, he is the last talking head I would go to for any college football chatter.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
Knows nothing. But you mentioned Tebow and Saban, talked about Miami's defense. I want to talk about it when we come back because, I think Miami's D holds the keys to beating Ohio State. We'll tell you exactly why. You want to keep it locked right here. We're only getting started on Locked On Canes. And folks, we're only getting started with game time. There's nothing like college football season, especially the playoffs. Tailgates, packed stadiums, being right there in the middle of it. The energy, the bands, the moments you remember forever. But actually getting tickets, that part used to be frustrating with long queues, logins, and prices jumping at checkout. But that's why Game Time gives the advantage back to the fans. It is the easiest way to unlock amazing college football tickets and experiences in just a few taps. And you can get your Cotton Bowl tickets on there, folks. I love on Game Time being able to see the exact view from my seat before buying, so I know exactly what I'm getting. The zone deals always stand out. You pick the section, Game Time picks the seats, and you save even more. Folks, knowing the prices include all fees up front makes the whole process stress-free. So check out Game Time for your Cotton Bowl tickets and take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets. Download the Game Time app, create your account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONCollege, all one word, for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Thank you so much to the everydayers for making Locked On Canes your first listen. Folks, thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network #1. And if you haven't already, go check out the new Everydayer Club. Guys, in the all-access tier of the Everydayer Club, you're going to get exclusive episodes from me every morning. I call it the Canes Colada. I run down all my major thoughts on Miami and college football for the day. You're going to get an exclusive newsletter, a bunch of other exclusive perks. Go to lockedoncanes.supercast.com to sign up. That's lockedoncanes.supercast.com. We got the truth teller, Bruce Warner, with us. All right, so Bruce, we've had this discussion many times before on Locked On Canes, but it's especially true against Julian Sayin, Ohio State's quarterback, who is one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the entire country. But there is a catch, right? He doesn't have the mobility of some of the quarterbacks Miami has faced this year. Mm-hmm. And Sayin, the 2 times he's gone up against top 15 pass rushes nationally, that was against Texas and it was against Indiana. Courtesy of InsideTheU.com for these stats. Against Texas, Sayin went 13 for 20 for 126 yards and 1 touchdown. Against Indiana, he went 21 for 29 for 258 yards, a touchdown, and an interception, and he got sacked 5 times against Indiana in the 13-10 loss. So 5 sacks. Miami got 7 this past week against a good offensive line of Texas A&M. Bruce, Julian Sayin, great quarterback, not the same guy when he faces pressure. We know what Miami's does best.
I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think it's the defense that's the key. I think it's our offense. We can't do what we did the other day. We've got to play like we did the last 4 games of the regular season and mix it up and keep them guessing and keep them off balance. We need to score at least 24, 27, 28 points. I don't know if we're going to hold anybody to 3 points again anytime soon. That's just not
certainly not Ohio State. Yeah.
But I think we need to keep them off balance. We need to score and then have a shot at the end of the game to win it. I expect the defense to pressure that kid. I expect us to do well against the run because we do play defense against the run very well. They have 2 fabulous wide receivers. They got a big tight end. We got to hold them in check offense. We can't fall behind against these guys and become one-dimensional. So on offense, I think we need to mix it up and play loose. We have nothing to lose. Yes, I know everybody's thinking this is a vengeance game because of that stupid flag that got thrown in Arizona 23 years ago. I want revenge too, but I want to win this game. I don't give a damn what the score is. I just want to win. If we can win this game, then we're on to the next team, whether it's Georgia or Oregon, whoever. I don't know who it's going to be, but
Georgia or Ole Miss.
Who would it be?
Georgia or Ole Miss.
Or Ole Miss. Okay. Well, I'll take my chances with them too. But at this game right now, I'm looking at it. We've got to be better on offense. I expect the defense to show up. And therein lies what I think is going to happen in order for us to win. We've got to be more unpredictable. Can't just hand the ball off to Mark. This is not the same team as A&M. The wind is not going to be a factor, which was a factor. It was a factor in the kicking game, so it has to be a factor in the passing game. It has to be. Yeah. So we didn't even take any shots down the field. So we got to be efficient on offense and defense and stay in this game, cause turnovers, create takeaways, don't blow it on special teams, which we haven't been. We've been doing well. And I have no concerns whatsoever about Carter kicking the ball. That was just a bad environment. The wind was horrible. He was trying to overcompensate. It's hard to figure out the wind. But I don't expect those problems. This kid could kick a 55-yarder with his eyes closed, so I'm not worried about it. I just worry about our offense. I'm not worried about the defense.
Well, I think you nailed it, that they obviously have to bounce back, but I think they will bounce back because you talk about the elements. The next game is indoors. Like you're in Jerry's world. And this is not taking anything away from Ohio State's defense because, Bruce, statistically, Ohio State has, I think, the best defense Miami has faced all year. They're top 10 defensively in virtually every category. Caleb Downs might be the best defensive player in the country, although, Miami's got one of those in Rueben Bain, who's certainly in that conversation. Keontae Scott is very good, but you're facing a tremendous defense, Bruce. But at the same time, like you said, Miami only scored 10 points last week. Well, they left 9 points off the board simply because it was an environment where you could not kick field goals of more than 20 yards, right? The extra point was like the maximum distance in that game. Not to mention, you couldn't throw the football downfield. And it's not like Miami was trying to mix up the playbook. I mean, early on, if anything, Dawson might have gotten a little too creative in that environment. But I think part of it was you've got to show their defense everything to make the simpler stuff running up the middle easier if they don't know where your attack is coming from. But none of Miami's trick plays and the 1 or 2 times we tried to throw down the field, nothing was working. Some of it was because Texas A&M's defense played fabulous. They were really quick on the perimeter, but it was also partly because of the elements. We couldn't throw the football downfield. So I expect Miami's offense to bounce back. Will they score enough points to beat Ohio State? We'll see.
A&M did what they should have done. They double-teamed Malachi, which is what I was saying I would do. You got to think ahead. Like, what would you do to stop them? So if you're Ohio State, you saw what happened. Malachi was kind of out of it for the most part. You double-team him. You make somebody else beat you. Now they're going to have to stack the box and stop Fletcher. Now, here's something I want to say that I was going to say it, and I forgot what I was just going to say. Ohio State's, we looked at the stats. Ohio State's really didn't play anybody this year. Who have they, with their numbers in their categories on defense, who did they play? They played practically nobody. They lost 2 games.
The best game they played, Indiana, they lost.
And Texas, they only scored 14 points.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So here's the thing. I said it the other day, and the host of the show and LT, Lamar Thomas, said the same thing and agreed with me 100%. If Dawson doesn't throw a screen into his game plan, he's making a big mistake. They didn't screen against A&M. They should. I don't even know if they have a screen in their arsenal. And I'm not talking about a bubble screen. I'm talking about a real
You're talking
screen
about
where the
running back
quarterback
screens.
lets the lineman in, he dumps it over their head, and they take off. There's going to be all kinds of opportunities for screens against Ohio State, and I hope they put that in there because I've been right all season long. You got to have screens. They don't have it. Yet all the great coaches, Saban, what a major screen guy is Saban was. Vince Lombardi going back 50, 60 years. These guys were brilliant. How about Howard? How about Jimmy? How many screens did Melvin get when he was at the? How many screens for Warren Williams? How many screens for Clinton and McGahee? A million.
Oh yeah, McGahee. Remember when Miami came back against Florida State? It was a McGahee screen pass that sparked the comeback.
That's what you got to do. That's what when somebody says a blitz, how do you defeat a blitz? Screen. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. So why not? Why are you so stubborn?
I think Shannon Dawson's wife listens to a lot of shows, so maybe she'll get this and she will relay the message. Steve Wiltfong launched a major prediction for Miami to land the number 2 player in the entire class of 2027. You want to keep it locked right here. We're not done yet on this brand new episode of Locked On Canes. Oh, folks, we are proudly brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move so fast. One big play and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting because you're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel lets you jump right into the moment. They have live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up, and you can bet things like next touchdown scores, totals, and more. It keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, every possibility. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Welcome back to our Truth Teller Tuesday here on Locked On Canes. So,
do I have to do this? No,
Bruce, it's gotten to a point where I'm not at all surprised to see Miami projected to land the number 1 offensive tackle for any given recruiting class because the Hurricanes have gotten that projection to land Mark Matthews, who is the top offensive tackle in the class of 2027. He's also a South Florida kid from St. Thomas Aquinas. So this one, it makes all the sense in the world. Now, Miami has not gotten his verbal commitment yet, but Steve Wiltfong from On3 Sports has put out the expert prediction for Miami to land Mark Matthews. And it's like, Bruce, at this point, obviously Miami just landed Jackson Cantwell in 2026, top offensive tackle. Miami landed CeCe Mauinoa a couple of years ago and Samson Okunlola, who were the top 2 guys in that class. Like, if you're the top offensive tackle, why wouldn't you want to come to Miami? Because you're going to get developed. You're going to end up being probably a
look. Yeah, I don't. You can't argue with that. But he's not here yet. So when he verbally commits, we can get excited. But
yeah.
Wilfong's made other predictions too that haven't been correct. I'm okay with this. There's other guys you want. Like I said before, to me, that's important. But the most important thing starts January 2nd. We better get a quarterback. Because when we get into the spring and we haven't gotten a quarterback that we want to be here, that wants to be here, we have a problem. Because who's going to be the guy? And is Emory Williams going to be here? Maybe he won't be here either. So we got to get this guy in the portal, and whoever wants to stay can stay. Whoever wants to go ahead. Because right now, I think Mario's riding a wave. We've got to get. I'd love to get a guy like Levitt. I'd love for him to be here 2 years instead of 1 and done. But we have an opportunity. We've got Coleman. We've got Nickel. We need to develop these guys. I don't really see an upside for Judd Anderson. That's just my opinion. And I'm not sure about Emory Williams. It's just been a couple of years already. I just don't know if he's secured a real spot on the roster. And in Mario's judgment can handle all this. So I don't know. But to me, the number 1 object in this offseason is to get that quarterback. The rest of it fills in. As I said before the show, 28 of the 29 recruits will be here in a couple of weeks. They'll all be here except 1 for spring ball. Now, how much better can that be?
Yeah, it's incredible. I think I just went out again. Let me say, we'll wrap it up in a second because clearly my Austrian Wi-Fi.
Where are you?
Close. I'm in the Alps in Austria.
Oh, Austria. Okay. So in
Yeah.
other words, any minute now, the snow could come in and you'd be crushed.
I hope not. Is that a thing? Like, I didn't know if
An
that was
avalanche.
No, but yeah, maybe I guess so. I am on the side of a mountain, but no, I want to mention Mario Cristobal. He gave some injury updates on Monday, and it sounds like all the guys who got banged up in the Texas A&M game are going to be good to go, which is massive, right?
Moten, Torre got hurt. Who else?
Everyone saw Mohamed Torre. Jacoby Thomas got a little banged up in the game. Zechariah Poyser and Ahmad Moten, and Cristobal basically said he expects all of those guys to be back. There's a couple of other guys who had things coming into the game who may not be back. It sounds like Dalen Upshaw is going to be out for a bit with a lower body injury.
Brown.
He had something before the game, so he might not be back. But all the guys who got banged up in the game should be back.
All right. Anyway, a shout out to Mario. And I'm saying this because I said it the last couple of years, and I'm going to say it again. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here. You guys could talk about how much money he makes or made or is making. You could talk about he can't win big games. You could say all those things. And you know what? To a certain extent, you're right. You've been right. But at this point in time, let's assume we don't beat Ohio State. It's not a failure. He doesn't suck as a coach. You people are nuts. Look where we are. Look what we've left in the dust. Florida State, left them teams in the dust. They're not even remotely close to us. So be thankful that this guy is our coach. The staff he's put together, Heatherman, they got to give him more money and tie him up for a while if we can, because he's going to be looked at as a head coach someplace, kind of like the guy from Clemson who went to Oklahoma to be the head coach. We need to lock this guy up for another year or two. He's that special. But I just want to say congratulations to Mario. It's well-deserved. The accolades he's getting, the euphoria that he feels. Did you see him on the sideline, how excited he was? That's great. That makes me feel good. It's 23 years since that damn yellow flag was thrown against Glenn Sharp in the end zone, which was total BS. The referee standing right there went like this, incomplete, and the other fool from the other side of the planet throws a flag and we lose the damn game. So I'm real happy that he's here, and we got to support this guy no matter what, because he's on the right page. We are back. We are relevant, and people are talking about us, and all these kids that are watching. And this is what I said the other day. If you want to play as a true freshman, if you want to get all these guys in the sideline, these former players that are just whooping it up all over the place, and be a part of this culture. This culture is like America's culture. Those other schools are all conservative. They win, they whatever. But the whole nation sees Miami having a blast. The kids are having a blast. The coaches are having a blast. They're whooping it up on the sideline. This is America now. You guys are nuts if you leave South Florida to go play someplace else. You're nuts. Now, maybe it's the money. Maybe you want to get out of South Florida. That's okay. I can't complain about that. But some of you star players need to rethink about staying down here and being part of this. This is the tradition from 40, 50 years ago when Howard was here all the way through. And there was a lull of 23 years. I can't sit there and say a particular fault. Obviously, the administration was at fault for not hiring the right people, giving them enough money. Well, when Mario came here, he said, this is what I want. And if I don't get it, I'm not coming. And they gave it to him, and now you see the result. We're not there yet. We didn't win the title, but it doesn't matter anymore to me. We are back. We are relevant. We are competitive. We are all over the news, even when you got schmucks like Stephen A. Smith and that bald-headed mongoose Feinbaum telling us we suck, we don't belong, we stink, we're not back. Get lost. Go get a different job. Will you get off the damn air? Put me on the air with those fools.
You should be. That's why they call him the truth teller. I appreciate everybody so much for making Locked On Canes your first listen. Apologize for my internet being maybe there is an avalanche somewhere, man. This is I've had some decent days out here. This was a bad day for Donno's Wi-Fi. We will talk to everybody again. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe. Make sure you check out the All Access tier, and we'll talk to you next time on another episode of Locked On Canes. We are part of the awesome Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.